We're on. Okay, so I'm making for dinner Moroccan style lamb with harissa yogurt sauce. Okay, so I got my harissa out of the fridge, what I thought I had in there, and I opened it up and it's covered in mold. So I just had to make a quick little trip to the supermarket to get, we only need 7 chilies to make that. So I have started off that harissa, which I will show you the end of, but I need it for my recipe for dinner tonight. So what I'm going to do, actually, I'll just explain. So in the harissa recipe, I'm making sure I've got volume on here. Hold on. I do. I realised I did something the other day and I had no volume, so I was going to tell you all about this amazing yogurt I've made, which I'll show you anyway. But I had no volume on, so I'm just blabbering away to myself. Anyway, we're all human. We all make mistakes. So with the harissa, I had to actually chop up 150 grams of red chili, and a bit difficult to show you this, but there we go. They're soaking in 600 grams of boiling water. They had to soak in that for 10 minutes. The next thing I had to do was actually dry roast some spices, and then they had to cool for 5 minutes. So my spices are in here, all right. And after they've cooled, I'm going to blitz them up, and then we'll continue with the harissa. But in the meantime, I thought I'd make the lamb burgers. So here we go, the lamb burgers. So Moroccan style lamb burgers with harissa yogurt dressing. So I'm omitting this. So burger, whatever you call it, is has gluten in it. So I'm not doing this. But basically, it's asking you to soak some of that stuff, whatever you pronounce it, cover with water, set aside for 10 minutes. So if you want to do that, but you don't have to have it. Okay, it's really, it will sort of bind a bit, but you know, that you don't need it. Okay, but you do need this. So we have the zest of 1 lemon going in here. There we go. And then I've got mint and parsley, and they're all just the leaves. They're going in. Popping my lid on. 3 seconds, speed 7. Oh, transfer into a small bowl and set aside. I've had a small bowl before. Yeah. Now, I'm actually going to do it again because I don't know if you can see some of that lemon peel isn't as fine as I would like it. Push, scrape the sides down. Lemon peel is a real, it's an interesting one because sometimes it works. So if you put it in with sugar, it peels perfectly. And other times it's not quite as good. But anyway, we'll give this another go. So we'll check that. Definitely better. Oh, it's one big bit that isn't. Take that bit out. Don't want to come across that. All right. Going to scrape the rest of it out. Okay. So that's the herbs and the lemon peel in there. So it says 2 shallots, around about 80 grams. Now, on here, it doesn't show you if the scales aren't on, but what you can do, if you watch my other video that for a few back, 3 magic dots, touch the dots, select scales, and here we go. They wanted 80 grams. There we are, that'll do. I've got a little, actually, I'm going to chuck that in. Doesn't really matter that much. All right. 2 garlic cloves. I've got a massive one and a tiny weeny one. They look a bit funny. I use the blade cover peeler to peel them all. then I freeze them. Those are just defrosted. 20 grams of olive oil. Feel like my whole tummy's wobbling at the same time. All right. Put my lid on. 5 seconds, speed 7. Okay. There we go, beautifully chopped up. I'm just going to actually, doesn't ask me to do this, but I'm going to put the push down the side. Now, the next thing it's going to ask me is to put my simmering basket on top instead of the measuring cup. Remember, the new rule is if it's 95 degrees or above, you use the simmering basket. Two minutes Varoma temperature, so obviously that is above a 95 degrees. So, sorry, it's above, yeah, it's 95 or above. Varoma is 120. So that's just going to cook for 2 minutes. Now, in the meantime, I'm going to get that yogurt out of the fridge so I can show you what it looks like. So it was a bowl yogurt, and it's one, I got a recipe from Thermo Groover's Jeanette Pierce in Tassie. So I bought her ebook, but this was amazing. And I'm just so disappointed I didn't have my volume on for the other day when I was talking about it, because I bought this milk that was on special. It was an organic farmer's milk, and it had cream on top like this. It was really incredible, and I was, you know, babbling on about that. But I'm just going to grab a spoon and I'll show you what it looks like. So there, look at that. It's just amazing. It's really, so I like a nice thick Greek yogurt. I don't like a runny yogurt particularly. I mean, I'll eat them, but there it is. You can see that. And it's spectacular. So she has written an ebook, but if you want to look for her, she's Thermo Groover's, and she's got obviously some more recipes in the ebook, but this is her cow's milk Greek yogurt. I think she does a coconut one as well, and some other things, but I really wanted it. I'd heard her yogurt was really good, and as I said, that's something that I haven't tried enough, and I wanted to try one that I heard was pretty good. So this will be my go-to. It makes 2 litres, so it makes 2 of these containers. Now these containers, just gonna eat this, it's delicious. It's really good. So these are the these are the ice cream containers from the mix shop. It's actually filled up 2 of those with the yogurt, and that's the yogurt I'm going to use in my harissa dressing when I make that, but I'll get to all of that then here. Anyway, that's cooked. That was our shallots cooking and the garlic. Set aside to cool for 5 minutes. Would you believe it? Just trying to what else I'm going to tell you about. What else have we got on here? All right. Oh, I know what. Let me just bring this closer. Before I do that, this was something else I was going to talk about. So we're having these burgers. I'm gluten-free. We try and be low carb. So we're actually going to have these instead of burger buns, and we're going to keep them open. So we'll each have 2 patties, but they'll be sitting on a cooked mushroom, and then we'll put our salad and our dressing on the top. So I'll probably just pull that out, you know, pull the middle bit out there, save that, stick that in the freezer. So the other thing I made yesterday actually was veggie stock paste, because I've nearly run out, but I just had all the bits and pieces that I cut up that I didn't need, like the stems of the herbs and the peeling of the carrots and everything, and I made my veggie stock out of that. So absolutely no waste. It was really cool. So all you need to do if you're doing that is just keep everything together. Just get a plastic bag, Ziploc bag that you can reuse because it's only veggies. If it's got meat or anything in it, it gets washed, it gets dried, and it goes back to Woolies or Coles for red cycle. But if it's just got veggies in it, you can just reuse it. So Ziploc bag, all the little bits and pieces, so I could put those ends in there. Or I tell you what, I might even break them off now. I'll chuck them in here, chop them up, and then they just be part of the burger. That's the best idea. So I'll actually do that now. So I've just got 4 of them because there's just the 2 of us and we're having 2 open burgers. Let me just get this, chop these off. And then in a minute, there we go. And then that's going to be nice and flat to actually sit the burger on. I'll take a photo and I will upload it when I do this. Let's get these out. Because there's nothing wrong with that. It's just a little bit more awkward to balance your burger on something that sticks up like that. Right. Okay. All right, so those can go in there. Now, it's asking me to add my lamb mince. I know that wasn't 5 minutes, but I'm sure it's all right. So I've got my burger. These are my burger buns, all right, ready for later. And I am going to chuck those bits of the mushroom in. And I'm going to quickly go in. I'm going to come out of there. So my recipe's saved. And I'm just going to quickly, okay, won't let me go past speed 6 if it's over 60 degrees. We are 75 degrees, so I'm just going to chop on speed 6. All right. I've just checked those mushrooms are chopped up a bit. Yep, they're chopped up. Perfect. Back into the recipe just by hitting that symbol up there. All right. 500 grams of lamb mince. This I bought on special, and it's grass-fed. I do try and avoid plastic, but honestly, if it's a really good price and it's grass-fed, plastic wins. Is the price. I think it's always a sort of juggle between price and sustainability, and sometimes the price wins and sometimes the sustainability wins. So just for example, the price won on this, okay, but I can recycle all of those things, so they will be recycled. Just going to quickly rinse my hands. However, with this sort of thing, yes, originally bought at the Raw Nut, which is a great shop, but if I want to go back, I've got to buy another container, so I don't. I take this to the source and I refill. So that's a sustainable choice, and sometimes you don't make the most sustainable choice. So as I said, it's always a bit of a balance. All right, lamb's in. 1 teaspoon of ground cumin. These beautiful jars that Helen, one of the girls in the team, gave me. She was helping someone clean out a house, and they're these gorgeous jars. So 1 teaspoon. 1 teaspoon of ground coriander. So again, you see, this is just a normal jar, and I just take it to the sauce and I fill it up. So I have a very eclectic mix in my cupboard. 1 teaspoon of salt. 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. Says the reserve drain burgle, or whatever you pronounce it, but I'm not doing that. All right. Oh, the herb mix. So this is going back in. Where's my spatula gone here? So the herb mix is going back in. There we go. Measuring cup on. 10 seconds on reverse, because we don't want to chop. Speed 4. Just mixing everything up together. divide into 6 equal portions. Well, I normally do 8 because there's 2 of us, and it will do us 2 meals. So here's the mixture. I will just turn that out onto here, and then I'm actually going to go back to that harissa because that takes about 25 minutes to cook. So let's get this off. Oh, I was also going to say, with these ice cream containers from the mix shop, what I'm actually going to do is use them for ice cream when it comes to ice cream weather. But the next time I make the yogurt, because the yogurt made 2 litres, so I have 2 of those containers full. So I've got to find lots of things to use it with. So I was very happy to make this tonight. But the other thing is to, you know, I used to buy the a Greek yogurt, so I'm just going to keep that container for when because I'm going to want to use these for ice cream. All right, that is that out of there. Now we'll come back to this. I've got stuff everywhere here. So it says 6 equal portions, but I'm going to do 8, but we'll come back to that in a moment. I'm going to get rid of the recipe. So I'm going to, again, go into these magic dots, cancel recipe. Yes, canceling the recipe. And now I'm going to go back to my harissa recipe. So that's in my my week. Harissa. Oh, start cooking. So this is just showing you what I've already done. Put a ceramic bowl on top. Weigh 150 grams of chilies, chopped up a little bit. Add 600 grams of boiling water. Leave it for 10 minutes. Okay. So then you're going to drain the chilies and set them aside. Then we're going to dry roast the spices. I've got cumin seeds and coriander seeds. A simmering basket over the top because it's for aroma temperature. 100 degrees, sorry. Allow to cool. That's where we got to. So putting it back on because that has cooled now. Insert the measuring cup. 3 seconds, speed 9. I'm just going to give this a quick little, actually I've got another one, hold on. It's the TM5 one, but it'll do the trick. I think my bowl was a little bit damp, and it would be better if it wasn't damp. The best way to actually have a really dry bowl is to wash it, dry it, turbo it, dry it, turbo it, dry it. And I didn't do that. So I have got things, hasn't chopped up quite as finely as it would have. In fact, I'm going to give it another little blitz. I'm going to put that up for a little bit longer. Did you know that just by touching the screen of your TM5 or TM6, it will stop the noise? All right. 5 garlic cloves. Okay. Smells really good. Again, these have been defrosted from my little thing in the freezer. In they go. Pop the lid on. 3 seconds, speed 7. Remembering that when you turn, it actually won't go past the speed that it's set. Right down the sides. Funny using the TM5 spatula instead of the TM6 one. So you can obviously use any spatula you like for whichever machine you have, but the TM5 one has a flexible tip. TM6 one doesn't, which is good sometimes and just feels different. All right. 20 grams of olive oil. There we go. Place the simmering basket on top. Cooking for 2 minutes, 100 degrees. That's why the simmering basket's on top, remember? Speed 1. And whilst it's doing that, I'm just going to move it away a little bit. And I'm just going to divide up these this mixture. So I'm going to pop it into a bit of a square. Use my spatula to divide it into 2. And then I've got to get, that's 4. And then that's 8. Okay, now I think it's best done with wet hands, so I'm just going to wet my hands and then just shake them. It's not hard. One's a little bit smaller. I think this one's a little bit bigger, so I'm just going to take a bit off there. If you really wanted to, you could weigh them. So they were all the same size, but pretty good. All right, so I've got filthy hands, but there we are. I've got 8 of my lamb burgers ready to go. Crazy. Okay, what's next here? Got to add my drained chili. So I'm actually going to use this simmering basket to drain my chilies, which I'll just do now. So there they are. They've just been softened with that water. Drain the chilies. Okay. 1 teaspoon of salt. Good old 20 grams of olive oil. Oops, here we go. Grams. All right, got the measuring cup on there. 30 seconds, speed 8. Okay, so 30 seconds, speed 8. All right, transfer into a sealable container. So it really doesn't take that long. It's 10 minutes of soaking, 4 minutes of dry roasting your coriander and your cumin, and then letting it cool, blitzing it, adding all the other bits, and then it's 30 second blitz. So it doesn't take too long, does it? Whoa, look at that. Okay, so it is a bit warm. So I was hoping maybe I could do the harissa dressing, but I'll talk you through it. I will need to let this cool down a little bit, I think, before. How warm is it? I'm not sure. Yeah, it's a bit warm. So I will put that into a jar, and then I will just talk you through what I'm going to do with my dressing. So I've finished that. Okay, now if you want to start partway through a recipe, this is how you do it. You go down here like this, you find the bit, so with that. So this is the Harissa yogurt dressing. So it's parsley, mint, leaves only. Pop the lid on, blitz it exactly like we did with the lemon rind in there before. Scrape down the sides. 20 grams of lemon juice, so that's fantastic. I can use the lemon that I took the rind off. 200 grams of that beautiful Greek yogurt I've shown you. 1 tablespoon of harissa paste. Salt. Pop the lid on. Reverse 3 seconds. Speed 2. And it's just telling you how to cook your burgers, which obviously you can cook them however you like. So that is basically harissa. The lamb burgers with the harissa yogurt sauce. So I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you next time.